Welcome to the podcast that's hot AF. It's the Rogue Sun podcast. We're here talking about a very special issue of Vicarious today, and it's just Matt and Charlie today, and we're going to be having a little quick podcast here talking about this wild podcast. You can figure out which of us would be a proxy or a linker, have a little fun. I don't know. How you doing, Charlie?
Yeah, doing well, man. Been loving this series. Been diving into it. I'm hoping we can have all four of us on before the end of this, but it's been hectic schedules for all of us. It's so hard to
Yeah.
get us all four. I totally get it. Life happens.
Yeah, we were trying to record yesterday, and there was power outages, people, and there's random calls. So, like, it can be
It's
life.
always something.
Life
Yeah,
happens, right? And that's why it's probably better
hundred.
just not even like live your own life, just get a proxy and just live through them, really, because
Yeah,
it's too
I
much. It's
think
too much.
yeah, no, I think that's definitely easier. So yeah, no, I had a good weekend. Actually went to Lord of the Rings like with the orchestra playing like behind that. So I had a blast watching that. And actually, I just saw your tweet too, and I did rewatch Sonic 3 on the weekend, which had a
Okay.
blast with that too. I heard you enjoyed that.
I almost saw it in theaters. The game as a kid that I wanted the most was Sonic Adventure 2. So like, I the movies have been kind of like meh for me. I like Sonic quite
Yep.
a bit, but I this one was good because it was the least amount of human stuff for me. And simple as a kids movie, you judge it by that metric. There's a couple cringy lines, but overall,
Yep.
I enjoyed it. It's all you could want. It's the best live action Dragon Ball Z movie. There's some good fights. I got what I wanted out of it.
Yeah, for sure. So before
Yeah,
we dive into this issue in particular, I wanted to get your thoughts on the first two, and what did you just think of this concept when you were diving into issue one, and it gives it all to you right away? What did you think of this?
it's clever, right? Like the gimmick is, well, I'm not gonna say it's a gimmick, but like the premise and the concept is really kind of engaging, right? And you can kind of see the Rogue Sun influence, right? How you have the Marcus kind of like in the body, you know what I mean, and Caleb. So you can tell that almost like, not that Ryan was trapped in running Rogue Sun, but he's almost trapped in what gets to play in this new universe, right? Now he's out in this new world and gets to play with the proxy concept, which is it's like a great episode of Black Mirror. It
Yes,
seems
yes.
like, yeah, with Neuralink, it seems like we could get there, right? Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's if this technology was in the works, and it's a scary future. And right now, it's kind of nice just to look at it through just through the fictional vortex here, and I've been enjoying it. It's really cool. It's engaging, and I'm gonna give it a few issues to sit, but I really like the first two. I like the art style. I like it feels like, I don't know. I just really like the vibe. And we'll get into it.
Yeah, we were trying to compare it to something like the art style and stuff. We couldn't really get there. It is wild. We were talking about it is very Black Mirror esque, which is super cool. This issue kind of gets even deeper into that and a little more crazy. So yeah, I can't
There's a
wait to
bit of
get in.
JoJo's too. Like I haven't seen much of JoJo's
Yes,
Bizarre Adventure. Two of my best friends got into it, so by proxy, like I I was absorbed into it, and like
I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple, but I haven't got deep into that either.
yeah, but I can see some of that, especially some of like the mask
Hundred
we're wearing
percent.
in this issue and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's really cool. I could see this being like an episode of Black Mirror. There's that's the thing. Like Ryan, last time I talked to him, we talked to him on the show. He was saying, yeah, he had a bunch of ideas that they were talking about for Infernals and stuff like that. So he's got some ideas stockpiled, and I bet this was one of them that he had ready to go, and it's really cool to see him execute it.
Yeah, for sure. So before we get in, I just wanted to show off a couple covers. We kind of had a special cover this week that I wanted to show off a little bit, but also just give the credits as well. So open
Yeah,
these here, and the first one we've been getting the Dan Panosian covers. Been absolutely killing it. These covers are all
yeah,
incredible, and this one continues. We get Miss Sylvia Sin on here, which has been a crazy character. We definitely get a little more into her this issue, but obviously this book is written by Ryan Parrott, illustrated by Eleanor Carlini. We get colors by Mattia Ianco, with assistance by Luca Mattioni, and lettered
yeah,
by the amazing Becca Carey. Which is also interesting because we look down at the variant cover credits and we see Miss Re Sorry, I
uh,
completely messed up your name. But we also got Dan Panosian.
Miss
I think
Miss
that's,
Relia probably, if I had to guess, but
yeah,
yeah,
Miss Relia. And the bottom cover we get Miss Becca Carey on the covers, which
yeah.
is which is a surprise. I just saw this before going on, so yeah. For the people watching this, we do have the Dan Panosian cover. We got Miss Relia, just super cool one here.
Yeah,
Yeah, very big Sylvia kind of vibe, and kind of theme this week, which makes sense. And this last one, which is the Becca Carey cover, man, she killed it on this. I was very surprised to see her doing a cover. First off, I'm not sure how many covers she does, but I've never seen one personally. But man, she killed it.
Yeah,
What do you think of this?
yeah, we brought this up earlier before we went on the air, and I was, oh shit, back into the cover. That's awesome. I don't know. We've seen her. You know, she's a prolific letterer of the massive verse. Like we've talked about her work a ton on here, and I think it's cool to get to be on the cover of a book. Like, boom, I did this. This one specifically, and it's pretty engaging. I like it. It makes me think of Pacific Daydream, the Weezer album cover. There's like a girl like on a swing set, like in the universe in space, and this almost looks like
Oh,
a vertical
okay,
view of that,
okay,
which is kind of cool. But that, of course, is from the weird Weezer fan that no one can relate to. So I'm sure other people had different different reactions to this. But no, it's really cool and really engaging. And it's almost like the sense perspective on how you're like the edge of another world, right? Like I kind of I like this, or the
yeah,
proxy. I mean,
no,
not sense. Sorry, I was
that's
watching. What's that? There's a show on AMC called Humans, and I
Fallout.
think they called them synths.
Oh, synth.
No, Fallout
Oh,
2. I think
synth
synths
is
has been
Fallout. Yeah.
around. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and Fallout 2.
Yeah.
Fallout Sweet.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I want to see her doing more covers. She absolutely killed this one. And for people just listening to this, do yourself a favor and go search this thing up because yeah, it's a gorgeous cover.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of getting more into the issue here. Kind of last issue, just kind of a short recap, but we were getting Justin. He was going on into his first proxy party, getting deep into kind of the proxy world, where he met Sylvia the first time, who wants to recruit him and turn him into a quote unquote unicorn. I guess is what's going on, and
Mhm.
we have detectives looking after or looking into Justin because it seems he's definitely up to something. We saw him burying a body last issue. There was a dead person in his bathtub in issue 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you've read issue 4, but did you have any thoughts about that when you first saw that kind of twist?
No, I didn't read. Well, the bodies in the tub. You mean?
Yes.
Or yeah, I thought it was like where it's like a video game, right? Like it's like a VR simulation or like the Beast games or something wild. Like I could see Mr. Beast getting it, like seeing this and like, oh, I'm gonna recreate this or something like that. Like,
Yes.
uh, so yeah, I thought it was wild. And I'm really I'm just here for the ride right now. Like it's kind of like no one where it's
Yeah.
like I don't even want to bother speculating because I know that like things are changing so quickly that it's hard to even like predict where we're even going with
That's
this.
fair. And I
But
think Ali, I just want to tell you Ali's quick theory quick, and I think he
yeah, yeah,
absolutely nailed it. We get some into this, but he was speculating in the first issue before this book, this Justin Bright, the one we know now, he's
mm,
killed this legitimate guy named Justin Bright, and he's took
yeah.
his identity and kind of put him in the tub and kind of is going on as Justin Bright now. So we don't know what happened to the real Justin Bright yet, but I think that theory is holding more and more true, which I do love.
That's really
But
cool. And like the
yeah,
issue of identity, I think is going to come into play majorly in this series, where
mm-hmm,
it's like stolen identity. Who are you? Who's
yeah,
living through other people? You know,
yeah.
we got a lot of play here.
And we
Like,
know
go for it.
Justin like more and more. He really hasn't like I wouldn't say he does feel kind of uncomfortable being himself in a way. Like he likes to take all these other
Yeah,
personalities and identities and pose as different people all the time. With the proxies especially, and now Sylvia Sin more in this issue. So
yeah,
yeah, right here he's starting to get this quote unquote maintenance done that every proxy should get, and apparently this is kind of the most bare bones maintenance that you should be doing. He said, and then Sylvia says there
yeah,
is stuff called nano skin therapy and age reverse basically injections that
yeah,
reverse your age, which is kind of crazy the lengths these people go to stay in their position. And yeah,
yeah,
it's really creepy. And then yeah, we're just getting kind of this more and more learning about Sylvia and Justin. Kind of, I don't know. I guess we're Justin. We kind of know his motivations. He kind of just wants to be the biggest proxy he can be,
yeah.
earn a lot of money, have a lot of customers. And Sylvia, I think, is just taking advantage of him at this point. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
what do you think of Sylvia? What do you think of Sylvia?
Well, it's kind of sus. Didn't they call her like the proxy pimp or something in the last issue or something like that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Well, okay. First of all, like this is just another me thing, like the Weiss reaction. My mom's name is Sylvia, so it's weird in this context and stuff like that. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So that's another layer of stuff in this for me. No,
Yes.
no, but I think she's an interesting character, and we got more of her backstory later on. We'll talk about, but I think it's cool, and just the idea of like it's like a video game almost, right? You're getting suited up. What do you want to wear, or it's
Hmm.
almost like
Yep.
instead of being, it's like when the like second page or whatever, he's staring at the different suits he could wear. It's almost like Spider Verse or something like that when you're seeing the different superhero costumes, except it's like what
Yes.
form of
Yep.
debauchery, right? Like what do you want to wear to go and do whatever, and you lose like a sense of yourself and what you want to do when you're engaged in this world and you're doing different stuff. It's like you become a video game character, and it's easier to disassociate from your own life problems when you're just like doing this. Even with all the money he could spend, he still would have to be alone with his problems. Anyways, I went on a tangent
Yeah.
as per usual,
No,
but
no, no.
yeah,
I love that. I love that, and I think it
it's
hits it.
it's
Hit.
there's a lot to play
What's up?
with.
Yeah.
There's a lot to play
Oh,
with in this
yeah.
for sure.
This world is crazy. Just everything Ryan set up for sure. He set up this world. He sets up these worlds like infernals as well, like so quick with not too many issues. We're pretty sure this is going to either pause or end at 5 issues. That's kind of what we've seen, and it's gearing up to something big, which is cool. But yeah, the amount of stuff he can set up is super cool. But it hits the nail right on the head. Sylvia says like, you aren't just a person anymore, like you're becoming an experience in a way, which is what she's kind of grooming him to do, which is, yeah. And
It's
I don't know,
culty.
I guess, yeah, it's very culty, very creepy. And we've seen, there was a detective that pulled up on him last issue and was warning him like, oh, there's people in the streets that are basically that have been hijacked and they're just brain dead now, kind of like I don't know, like super big drug addicts in the streets. And it
Yeah,
kind of seems like I'm starting really to think that that's what Sylvie is up to. Like she kind of just uses these people for her own gain and then just throws them out in the streets when she's kind of done with them, which
yeah, and that's
is,
the
yeah,
easiest
pretty
ones.
dark.
Unfortunately, yeah, those would be the easiest people to do that, right? Where they're already in the streets, their relatives already expect them not to be around and stuff like that. They might worry, but if they're not around, they wouldn't call the police as soon. So it's easiest to get away with that stuff. And yeah, just like in society without this kind of stuff, homeless people usually get the raw end of the deal here. So it's brutal, but that's part of what makes a sci-fi so engaging and stuff like that is because you can realistically see it, right? Like the nano reversing and the injections that slow your aging. Like if this stuff was real, it'd be like Ozempic. You'd see every celebrity trying to do it, everybody with wealth.
For
So
sure.
it really helps you get engaged with the sci-fi. And you just hope that skin care companies and stuff don't get any ideas.
Yeah, for sure. And these linkers don't care obviously what these proxies do as long as they can kind of get their fix and get to see the world through their eyes. We in the first couple issues we really saw a lot of comparisons about like kind of streaming today, how these kids just like are just so fixed on like these streamers and kind of like live the world through their eyes in a way, kind
Yeah,
of their crazy lives. So yeah, that kind of continues too, and we get some kind of smaller ramifications here about proxies and stuff, which I thought was cool, like cheating in sports, which I loved. So
yeah,
yeah, he's at a baseball game here, and he basically says there's talk that some of these players are proxies, and they have the coaches kind of linked into their heads, like telling them what to do at all times, which is kind of, yeah. I don't know how you would completely prove that other than the fact
yeah,
that so far everything we've seen is every single proxy has tattoos. That's the one thing I was laughing about.
yeah.
It
That's a good
seems
point.
like every proxy has tattoos. So on the first page you see a baseball player, he's covered with tattoos. Maybe he's just a sports guy, but I'm guessing he's probably a proxy.
Oh, that's a good
um,
point.
and and the proxies are also selling kind of themselves on the black market to their biggest fans so they can watch the game through their eyes, which is also super cool.
I thought that's
Yeah.
interesting. Like you can buy tickets and maybe you can get less money for the ticket, or like pay off some of the ticket by getting like, hey, do you want to watch through my eyes or whatever for like
Hmm.
$150? You get like front row VR camera seats basically.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
it's like a
Could be interesting.
way better VR, I
Yeah, it's
guess.
true because you can feel it. One sec.
Except you can't really control it yourself, right?
Just have to let my cat out of the room.
Okay, yeah, no worries. But yeah, so we definitely get some more interesting stuff here. He's meeting this new girl who we haven't seen yet, and her name is Mayday, which is a very cool name. And him and Justin, they're doing this thing called doubling, and it's basically they're on a date and they both have Yeah, so they're doubling on this date, and they both have linkers in their heads, kind of at the same time while on this date, which is kind of cool. But he really does seem to get along with this girl when they're linked, and after the link too, which is kind of cool. We haven't seen this side of Justin completely. I would say.
Yeah,
What do you think about her? Mayday. Her name's Mayday. Kind of a cool name.
the green haired lady, right?
Yes.
I like her. She kind of looks like a Miracle Molly a little bit, or gives me vibes of that.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's cool. This whole interaction was really interesting. This is kind of like a high concept series that I feel like you have to read through a couple times, right? Because like it's you're
Mm-hmm.
reading perspectives and then there's heists, so like you can read through it again with the knowing, once the jig is up. I think she's a really cool character. It's interesting to see that she's someone that Justin will be able to relate to, right? Because they're both synths and stuff like that, and they're not like
Yes.
super
Yep.
high up in the hierarchy here. So I think she's a pretty good character, and I didn't realize the series is only going for 5 issues. Hopefully that expands if there's more, but if not, that would explain the breakneck pace, right? We're not going slow for sure.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. And I don't know if you've read issue 4 yet, but
I haven't
it really does like climb to
escalate.
some pretty high.
Okay,
Yeah, it does. It escalates pretty quickly, which is cool. Just a tease for next
I didn't
issue,
want to read it because
but
I
it
didn't want it
is
to
very cool.
influence my opinion here if we're just doing three. So yeah,
That's very true.
because otherwise I'm
Um,
an asshole making predictions. I'm like those athletes playing with the coach's head in there. So but again, like those small things, like obviously this is so thought out when we're doing just a small thing about the baseball, right? Like things like that, and how I love a good sci-fi concept that changes how we live completely, right? And this obviously would
yeah.
affect like every aspect of life. Are they a synth? If you're at like a business meeting, oh, I better hope that they don't pay off a synth or whatever to be involved in the business meeting and hear all of Apple's secrets or something like that. And that will get you through security. Like this has massive repercussions, and yeah, I hope that maybe we'll get all of it. Everything Ryan's going to get all of it in 5 issues, but I think there would be room to do a lot of different stuff in here
A
if we
hundred,
continue.
hundred, 100%. I totally agree. And kind of another cool, well, I wouldn't say a cool concept here, but we get Justin and Mayday running a little scam here. So they're walking home from the
Yeah,
game, still on this double date, and this big thug kind of pulls up on them and tries to rob them. And his
yeah,
name, Justin's name, his fake name is Amon at this point, and his linker's yelling at him to go beat this guy up and protect this girl. And
yeah.
he's kind of scared at first, but then gets into it and scares this guy off, beats the crap out of him. Uh, um, and yeah, that was kind of funny. And also, honestly, I didn't think much of it because we have seen lots in this book of just people not with this proxy movement and hating on the proxies. We saw the
Yeah.
Christian Gold dude get beat up in the first issue, so I thought it was gonna be pretty like truthful or whatnot, but yeah, we
Yeah,
get to
the
see
stuff
that
saying
they're running the
the only
scam.
the only voice in your head should be like God, like that kind of stuff. Even if he was playing it, like you can kind of see those reactions would probably happen if you know religious people were dealing with people that were being controlled. It's almost like possession in a way. If you look at it, it's pretty much possession. So I don't think it would go down with religious groups and stuff like that. And yeah, this heist was interesting. That's the thing. You see so many scenes in this, and you have to take a second for it to set in because you can't just look at it on the outset of like two people on a date or something like that. Because
Yes.
we get this, and you said earlier we're getting into something cool, but it's actually the opposite. It's like an incel fantasy that's getting played out here, and which I thought was something, right? This guy gets to be the hero and scene, right? So I thought this was
Yes.
pretty clever.
Very
And
much
the
so.
sad thing is, yeah, like a lot of stuff that I said, you can see it happening because
Yeah.
people pay
Right,
for a bunch of
right when
stuff
he
online
signs
now
off,
that I'm,
they said.
yeah,
Yeah, right when he
yeah,
signs
well,
off, he says, "And we're clear." And we're
yeah,
clear, which yeah, super super funny. And then we see the thug come back with Mayday after their perfect ending of a date. And this big thug is obviously on their side, running this sham with them,
yeah,
just to, I don't know, get this linker in an experience, which he did love. Like Justin said, "Oh, hopefully this doesn't happen next time," and the linker says, "Oh no, like I loved it. Like he loved it.
yeah,
This will get him coming back." Which is yeah, these linkers are all yeah, not in the best state of mind for sure.
no, no way. So they're infants. It's you have these people that have no skin in the game really because they're anonymous, and then you have people that want to do stuff for money so they can go further in these things. Like, it's clever.
Yeah, we saw Sylvia like saying last issue, asking if Justin would jump off the building, and because the linkers would pay lots of money for that. Like seeing how like they would do harm to themselves, which yeah, super dark. This book goes to some dark places for sure, but
Yeah, Steve-O would be
it
dead in
really.
this timeline. The Jackass crew would be done for. They would have died like day one this technology
Oh my
releases.
gosh, that would be that
It would be
would be
like
amazing.
Jackass the movie 6. You are the Jackass, and
Oh my gosh.
anyway,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
that's so great.
the
Uh,
implications is there.
yeah. And we get back to Sylvia here, and Sylvia's proud of Justin, all the work he's been doing. And this is also where we learn that Sylvia was one of the first proxies. She says she is one of the first proxies,
Yeah,
which is super interesting. She was talking about how people used to like take advantage of people like her and then kind of control them and kind of yeah take advantage of them, which is kind of funny. That's exactly what she's doing to everyone right now, which is yeah kind of messed up. But yeah, she had a friend die, one a proxy friend who was kind of into it with I don't know this drug lord or some rich
yeah.
dude and ended up getting her killed. So she kind of took advantage of him, got in, learned all his secrets, and ratted him out to the cops. So I thought that was pretty funny, pretty clever.
Love the Afro disguise. Makes you think of Foxy Cleopatra from Austin Powers 3. I thought that was pretty wild. It's cool that that's going to come back in the future. I'm excited for that. No, this was a really cool little backstory, and it adds a lot of depth. Obviously, way more than we knew about Sylvia. How she was the first one, and now she's kind of She was, obviously abused and traumatized in the system, and now she's kind of exerting those same behaviors, which sadly a lot of people tend to do when they've been, abused or mistreated. So that's really dark. It adds another layer, and yeah, she's obviously not really a protagonist or not really 100% more in the moral or in the moral right. So that's
Yeah.
something to watch, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of we get to this point where we've kind of I don't definitely me and Bash and Ali have, and I'm sure just the way the book is written, kind of all saw it coming to this point. But we finally get to the point where there's an encounter in Monaco, and Sylvia wants Justin to take one of Christian's jobs, which Christian Gold very vividly said, if you take any of my jobs, any of my customers, you're dead. I'm gonna kill you.
Mm,
Blah blah blah. So
yeah,
this kind of yeah, it came quick to this moment. But Sylvia kind of pulls a quick one on him and says, "No, like Christian can't make this job, so you kind of got to fill in for him." Christian decided to spend the weekend with Mrs. X, and you do not cancel on Mrs. X, which I thought was super interesting too. Who could be Mrs. X? That's a big mystery. I have no guesses whatsoever.
no
I
one
think it's
good,
just yeah,
but he's
no,
getting
yeah,
himself into
definitely no one good.
trouble. What is he saying no
Uh,
to? He's getting in deeper and deeper in these situations, and unfortunately, that might not. No, I'm not making this. We're getting into a lot of subject matter in this, and this is my first time talking Vicarious, and like I'm too mature for this. Really, we're getting into a lot of stuff. Even no, but it gets pretty wild. But yeah, these parties are crazy. It's like hedonism bot from Futurama, like gone wild. Like no, so this is interesting. We're going to this party, and this is wild. We're going to I don't want to say anything that's too like ridiculous for this podcast, but yeah, I feel like these similar things to these exist in the real world. Like they're canon
mm-hmm.
in real life. Celebrities go to these
Mm-hmm.
events. A lot of people with money get bored, and they do some of the most deranged shit you can think of. And so we're diving into that world of madness here, and it's really well illustrated, and it's you can see this shit happening. Like there are
Yeah.
sex parties that happen IRL. Like I don't know what's going to get us kicked off YouTube, but
No,
obviously there
I
are.
think yeah, I
Who
guess
cares?
that's yeah. Well, I think this is a rated R book, so it's kind of a rated R podcast
We had a
at this
huge
point a
sponsor. We are
little
going to
bit.
make 50K off this video, so that sucks that
Dang it.
that's not going to get monetized. But whatever.
Oh
No,
man.
this is wild, and we're going to this wild world, and Justin just doesn't say no. He just gets deeper and further into this world,
Yeah.
and that's wild.
Yeah. So he gets to Monaco and it shows this party. First of all, beautiful. They have a full page spread here of some gorgeous colors. Yeah,
Yeah,
some really cool art going on here. I guess as good looking as this big rich sex orgy can look. And then we find out some really creepy things as people are really like they want to
Okay,
in simple terms with when they're doing stuff with each other, they want to link with each other's minds so
experience it. So yeah,
they simultaneously feel what both people feel at the same time. It's
they want to become the beast
kind of
with two
nuts.
backs and one mind. It's interesting. It's it's wild. There's a lot to discuss. That's NSFW. I'll probably bring this up with some comic friends later, and we'll discuss. But yeah, like comedian friends, not comic book friends. But this this was wild. Like we're going there, and like Justin's like, I'm getting paid.
Yeah, no, I know. He's really getting into this, but at the same time, I think he does definitely get uncomfortable. Or I
Oh
assume
yeah,
he gets uncomfortable because he leaves this thing and he asks for they have a break voucher. So I guess they have like one voucher where where they can take a little break away from all this chaos,
it's like a safe
which
word
is kind of
almost, like
yeah.
in
Yes,
paper form, basically, which I guess you need. Like these are this is wild. Like this is
very
we're getting in
very
there. It's
wild.
like red licorice and firecrackers, baby. We're talking a lot. When we first started the Radiant Black podcast, when that podcast started, I didn't know if we would get to this moment. I hope we would. I hope we would. No. This is wild, and like I don't want Bash and Ali to be disappointed in us. So we got to cover this. We got to speculate on what kind of sex
Of
they had,
course.
and we're gonna have. No, I'm just kidding. Well, yada yada. This was wild though. This was cool, and this stuff. This happens. This happens. Elon Musk threw one of these parties. He was the only one invited, and no, I'm just kidding. Anyways,
That's so
it
funny.
did.
That's so funny. But yeah,
The colors
he
are wild.
definitely the colors are great. Like it, yeah. How uncomfortable these scenes are, they do make it look very, just very abstract. But no, there's definitely some cool art in here. It's got I don't know if that's bad to say, but no, there is some good art. In these moments, but yeah, he gets here, he spends his voucher, and he goes to the washroom, and this is kind of the first time we get a peek onto maybe Justin's real life on what he's really up to.
Yeah,
So this guy, yeah, he says your family is looking for you, which is pretty crazy. And this guy, he's pretty creepy. He's just watching him take a leak, and he says, "Don't bother screaming or running. I'll be gone before you can do either. Your family is worried about you, Micah." So we do find out his real name is Micah,
yeah.
not Justin Bright, which is interesting. What do you think about this scene?
Well, I mean, Justin Bright, that does sound like a stripper name or something like that. So, I mean, not the most crazy thing, but again, he's already dealing with being overwhelmed, and then boom, you're getting threatened in the bathroom, which is a very personal area that you don't want people, uh, you know, bringing up your spilling tea and stuff like that, bring up your family shit, saying they're worried about you. Like what? So really, it's a lot, and Justin was already, or Micah was already in over his head before this all started, and it's only getting worse. This is wild. What did
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, this definitely just made it concrete, kind of Ali's theory here, which I liked. So at this point, I was just kind of interested to learn more about the real Micah and what he's up to and how he got into this whole thing.
Yeah,
Which spoilers you do get a little more on next issue. I guess that's not really spoilers, but yeah, you do learn some cool stuff next issue. But yeah, he's it's some crazy stuff going on. He kind of just gets out. He's kind of denying it. He's like, "Oh, you don't know who I am. I don't know like who you are, but this guy definitely really does seem to know who he is." So yeah, he exits the bathroom and he leaves, which is where Sylvia calls him up and is pretty mad at him because she was kind of labeling him as this kind of sex demon,
yeah,
and she was upset that he left this whole encounter because uh,
yeah. He's trusted.
yeah,
She's like a businesswoman, and he was expected to do stuff,
yeah,
and it's pretty shitty stuff. Like really, like he's got himself in a bad way.
yep. And he said, yeah, his kind of excuse was his implant was kind of infected and went down. There was an issue, and yeah, that's when Sylvia kind of gets pretty mad at this point. And Justin says, "I'm going to pay you back. In fact, I'm going to start doing some more overdue kind of encounters right now. So this is where he goes back and sees Mayday, and they go on this date, another perfect date, obviously.
Yeah.
But actually, this is kind of cool because they meet up, and this is before their linkers join. So it's kind of just the two of them at this
Yeah.
point without the linkers, with each other. And yeah, they really do, like you said, do seem to understand each other. And yeah, it seems like he had a like his first kind of normal time, and he had a good time on this date.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like prisoners or any people that are held against their will, and they finally actually get a time. They're not forced to do like labor or whatever they're supposed to do by their captors. They can actually talk and with the mask off and just be who they want to be. So those conversations are always interesting when you get them.
yeah, for sure. And we get kind of the crazy moment, but kind of we all kind of saw this one coming, which makes sense. But Mayday brings him out to this faraway forest, and Justin says, "Man, your linker had us come way out here." He was questioning maybe they were cheating or something.
Mm.
But no, they were out here, and this is where Mayday says, I'm really sorry, Justin, and socks him right in the face. Some good kinetic art here. I did like this punch. She's got
Yeah,
those Mayday brass knuckles, which are pretty sweet. But
yeah.
yeah,
So this is wild. I mean, we're beating Kyle to the punch. Like, hey, Kyle, you killed your guy off in issue 4. Well, no, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Spoilers for. I'm not going to tell you what Kyle Hagen's series that happens in, if you don't know. No. But also, way better faith in that character. Like, I thought working Uber was rough, but this is a worse job. No, that's fucked up. Like whether he's dead or not, right? So you can't really say. I'm thinking, I don't know what technology they have. They can probably heal if they can slow aging and they can, stream through your head. Who knows what tech they have? They could bring him back, maybe, but maybe next issue will just show how his back. You said it shows more of his backstory, which whether it's a spoiler or not. But yeah, it makes sense. I've seen that happen where you kill off a character and then you get the real backstory because you can't just kill him off and be like, oh yeah,
yeah,
this is Micah, and then boom, he's dead. So, what I'm assuming they would show more of next issue, and I'm glad I didn't read it because this, it's cool. Right now in this world, he's dead, or it looks like he's dead, or it's like, wow, he's got a revenge story to go on if he's not dead.
yeah.
I
No,
don't know. This is wild.
that's
It's
yeah.
gripping.
No, this yeah. What was a crazy moment. And yeah, like he's surprised for sure. Like he says, yeah, what the hell are you doing? And yeah, she says, I didn't want to do any of this, but he threatened to blackball me. And he's like, oh, who? And this is where we find out it is Christian Gold, Mr. Christian Gold, who is the guy who obviously gave Justin his implant, or gave him the reference
Mm.
for the implant for the first time. And he's linked to Mayday right now, and he says, "Hey, buddy, how is Monaco? Are you having a good time
Oh,
filling in for me?" And he's pissed, and obviously Sylvia set this guy up big
it could be
time.
someone's kink to dress up as Christian Gold and watch someone get beat to death. So that's not off the table. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that's pretty wild. This damn, like 3 issues in, we're killing protagonists by the looks of it. Like he's dead. You could probably write that he's got nanotech, or maybe someone discovers force healing in issue 5. Who knows, or issue 4? But we'll see. No, it's
Yeah,
wild, and it's a pretty gripping story, and I like a cool concept. And when it's nice when the arc and the story can keep up with just the concepts like that, and it's cool, and I'm really enjoying it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And yeah, pretty much the rest of the issue, he's getting beat to a bloody pulp, and he's just on the ground, like you said. It's gonna be tough if he does come back from this, for sure. This guy is yeah, he's completely destroyed on the ground. It's a pretty crazy image. I love I'm actually just noticing this now. The first kind of the first page is almost exactly the same as the last page. In the first page, you have like a full page of him kind of just sitting down on a chair, like getting all this manicures and stuff, really
Yeah,
nice. And then it's kind of the exact same image on the last page, a full body picture of him, except he's completely beat up, bleeding all over the ground.
yeah, right. Talk about going from rags from riches to rags or whatever, basically. But No, that's rough. If your proxy gets beat to death while you're streaming, do you get your money back? Because I feel like that's a shit experience. I don't want to pay for that. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I don't know.
how
I
this
don't
guys
think
are.
there's any
I'm just
insurance on this thing. Yeah,
no.
yeah, this is a black market thing. Yeah, it still seems very illegal. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got to be illegal. But yeah,
probably.
a lot of this goes on. There's yeah, seems like there could be some good uses. Like they said, the first proxy was kind of used to treat coma patients. So I
Yeah,
guess there would be some good uses in this, but
I like
kind of
that.
like everything, you can spin it to the dark side pretty quickly, which we see in this book. We haven't seen a lot of good uses of proxies and linkers in this whole book so far. But yeah, he's on the ground, bloody pulp, and that's where we end our issue. So yeah, I think issue four is already out. Hopefully we're gonna do that soon, and then issue five. You said, I don't know if you know when that's out, Matt, but I believe you said it's like a month or something, or 3 weeks
I
maybe.
think it's 3 weeks because it just dropped, right? Like this one just dropped a while ago. Let me check.
Yeah, issue four,
Where
I believe was last week. Which yeah, I hope we get another Becca Carey cover. I really do hope that carries over.
FOC was the 27th, so it's probably dropping like like the last week of February.
Okay, so yeah, can't wait for that. Can't wait to figure out if it is the end or not.
FOC
It's
was two
kind
days ago, which sucks. We should have had this up earlier. God damn. No.
of
But no, you can beg your comic your LCS. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, grab five in stores for sure. If you like the story, go see more of it. Don't just
Mhm.
get the story vicariously through us. Definitely buy the stuff because Ryan, you can tell everyone put in a hell of a job here. Parrot, Carlini, Iacono, like it's great.
Yeah.
And seeing Becca's cover
No,
was awesome. I'm
he's
gonna look up for that one specifically. I didn't know she did that one.
yeah, me too. I'm gonna search that up after too. And yeah, Ryan's been killing everything, even the Atom project he's doing for DC right now. That's been a lot of fun. I'm not a big Atom guy whatsoever, but I dove into it for Ryan Parrott exclusively,
Nice.
and that was a blast. That's been a blast too. So yeah, I think that's kind of the end. Before we end here, I definitely want to shout out our amazing patrons
Yeah.
who have been amazing. And recently we just dropped a Cowl movie review of Kyle's first movie that he did for Cowl. I don't know what
Hell yeah.
year it was, but kind of the conception of Cowl, and something he did in school. So that was a really fun time talking about that. So if you want to listen to that, you know where to go. But yeah, so our patrons, we got Jordan, Joe, Noah, and Patrick. You guys have continued to support us, so yeah, super, a lot of appreciation for sure, and we love having you guys tune in all the time, and it's yeah, it's great having people like you support the show a
Yeah.
lot. So
It's always
yeah,
inspiring, and we love sport. And it keeps the lights on, and just makes this whole thing. It makes it easier to get the podcast out for you guys, and we love it.
100%. So yeah, I think. Do you have anything else before we head out of here?
No, I just want to say it's always nice to talk about these projects. I've never read a project from one of the Massiverse writers, like the outside of the Massiverse, that I haven't really enjoyed. So it's really a
Yeah,
treat to get to read these awesome issues and talk about them.
yeah,
So yeah, thanks for
100.
joining.
Yeah, for sure. And everyone out there, stay roasty.